My name is Zabib, and today I would be showing you how to send emails in .NET Core using MailKit and SMTP. So if you can see, I have my SMTP settings here, which are the properties I'm going to be needing to connect to send my emails. And these SMTP settings, the values are defined in my app settings. If you come to app settings.json, you can see I have my SMTP settings defined like this. So you want to make sure you have everything defined like this. I have my server, which is my host, then I have my port, which is running on 465. Sender name could be anything. Email is going to be the Gmail account that's sending the emails. Username could be anything as well, and make sure you pass in the correct password. And when you're using Gmail, make sure you come to your settings and you have less secured apps turned on Gmail. You have to allow less secured apps. If not, Gmail is not going to allow you to send emails. So you have to go to your settings and do all of that. So for now, I'm going to walk you through what I've done so you can implement it as well. You can see I have my SSL set to true as well. So all of those properties, I've defined them in the class where I'm going to be using them in my service, and also create an interface where you want to implement the method for the email sending. So the first parameter is the recipient email. Second is the first name and link. So this could be anything. You could be a body and just whatever you want, and this too is optional. So you can have as many parameters as you want. So you can see I created my interface here, and I created my service called image sender, which is going to implement the interface. Okay, so in my startup, I injected my class here, my email sender to the iEmail sender, my class to my interface, and also I'm calling my SMTP settings here. You have to add this in your services.configure and do your singleton for your dependency injection as well. Then in my case, I'm using Swagger UI to test my APIs in case you want to use Postman. But if you're interested, you need to go to your tools, then Nugget Package Manager solution, then you have to search for Swagger. So when you search Swagger, make sure you have this installed: /boku.ASP.NET Core, Swagger UI, and Swagger Gen. You can have these three installed in your project. So that is what I did. Then you want to call services.add_swagger.gen here. Okay, you want to make sure that you also use it here by saying app.uswagger and app.uswagger UI. This is going to be the Swagger endpoint for you to connect to Swagger. Okay, so you want to go to your app settings, launch settings, so make sure that this launch URL is changed to Swagger, as well as this one is changed to Swagger. So that is how you're going to connect to Swagger to start using your API. So let me take you to my service implementation. So you see I have my SMTP settings here. I don't need this, so I'm creating a read-only of my SMTP settings class, which has all of the properties that will be connecting to my app settings where I have my SMTP settings. So I'm passing this in my constructor using this I options. So okay, you want to make sure you have the namespace, and you are using I options as well to read the values from the SMTP settings. Okay, you can see I'm calling the value property here, which is going to be getting me all of the properties in my SMTPs, which is inside my app settings. Okay, all of this. So I'm going to go back to my email sender. So you can see I'm calling the method here. So I'm using my message, which is a part of MimeKit. Okay, and also don't forget this I options options comes from the namespace Microsoft extensions options. If you don't have it, make sure you install it. Okay, I'm creating an instance of my message, so I'm going to build my message. So the first thing I'm adding is the from, which is going to be the sender email. You can see my SMTP settings is reading the value, and when it calls the sender email, it's going to read the value and pass my email here. So to what I want to send the message to, the recipient email, which I'm going to be passing in my API. The subject could be anything you want as well. Then the body of the message can be HTML and it can be plain text. If I don't want to use HTML, I can just remove this. This is just a walkthrough. And then messages .NET Core. Oh, my bad. Okay, that is it. I can use plain text or I can use HTML. I need to specify here. Okay, so you can see I'm instantiating my SMTP client. So I want you to take note of this. My client has all of these properties: authenticate async, send async, or disconnect async. So you can see I'm using the namespace from mailkit.net.smtp. I'm going to remove that. So you see, if I click on control full stop, then you see I have two options, either to use system.net.mail or mailkit.net.smtp. If I use system.net.mail, you see I don't have all of these properties available. Okay, so you want to make sure you are using our mailkit SMTP. Okay, then that is all you need to do for here. Then I'm awaiting the call which is going to connect. So I want you to see how I've arranged this line of code. So first I need to connect using my server, which is my provider, smtp.gmail.com. then the ports 465 and the SSL, which is set to true. I can also as well do this SMTP settings so you can see I don't have SSL here because I don't have the SSL defined in my SMTP settings. Okay, so it still doesn't matter, I can just pass it to true. In your case, if you don't want it, you can set it to false. Okay, so then you need to connect first. After you connect, you need to authenticate. Then after the authenticate, you call your sender sync, which you're going to pass your message which you built from here and pass it inside as a parameter. Then after that is done, I want to disconnect. So that is all I need to do from my service. You can see that is all I've done here. So after that, I created a controller. So you want to make sure you have your controller using a post method. So here I'm creating a variable out of my IMail sender interface, which is passed in my constructor. So so this is a type, this is going to be a type of my IMail sender. Okay, so then I'm calling the send email async, where I'm going to be passing in my recipient email, recipient first name, the link, like so. So that is all you need to do, guys. Then you can run our API now. So test. So you can see I'm connected to the Swagger endpoint to run my API. So you can see I've sent email here, so you can try it out. Then I'm just going to you can pass the name here, and it can be optional since the string can be null. So you can see I've sent myself a message. So that is all you need to do. And if your password is not correct, or your authenticator sync is commented out, it's not going to work, because Gmail needs to authenticate you. Okay, so you want to make sure you have everything done in this manner. So that is all you need to do, guys. Let me know if you have any questions and or any challenges while you are trying to use the email service. I will be sharing a link where you can find it on my GitHub and you can use it. All right, thank you guys, and